name's Christine, and this is a quick full body stretch for those really busy days. Because when we're busy, the first thing that tends to slip is our self care, the things that we know keep us grounded, keep us feeling good in our bodies, and keep us focused. So, today we're going to do a quick practice that gets into every part of the body that helps us stretch everything out, and it will invigorate you and hopefully keep you feeling really grounded and present no matter how busy the rest of your day is. So, let's keep it brief and get right to it. We're going to start pranayama, but only 3 deep breaths. So sit comfortably, close your eyes, and take a deep breath. Fill your lungs all the way up. And now exhale all the way out. Try to get as empty as possible. Again, inhale very deeply. Feel the chest rising. And exhale as completely as you can. Push out the stagnant air. Just one more like that, big and full. And exhale. Beautiful. Let's come to standing. We're coming right up at the very top of your yoga mat. Standing with your feet hip distance apart and parallel to one another. Take a moment to feel your feet grounding into the earth. And as you inhale, reach the arms up and overhead. Get tall and get long. We'll hinge at the hips and dive forward. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Good. You can bend your knees. We're going to be moving quickly enough through this practice that it's possible it'll take a bit for your body to warm up. Let's respect those limitations. Bend your knees if you need to get down here. Let's come up halfway, hands on the legs, roll the shoulders back, and think about your spine from tailbone right through the crown of your head, getting extra long. Stretch. As you exhale, come back down, fold again. Push the ground away with your feet. Inhale, sweep all the way up, reach for the sky. And exhale, hands into prayer at the heart. 2 more just like that. Inhale, big reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold again. All the way up, big breath in. Hands to heart. Just one more, big breath. Exhale. Inhale, flat. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach for the sky. And hands to heart. Good, just adding on a bit now. We inhale, reach up. Exhale and fold. Give yourself a flat back. This time as you exhale, step your left foot back. Good, stepping the left foot back. We're in a high lunge here. Your front knee is right over the ankle. The back heel is lifted high up over the toes. I want you to think about that back leg being nice and charged. And the hips are even sort of squeezing into the midline. Find your balance here. And if balance is tricky, remember these next postures can all be done with your back knee on the ground. Depends on how much you're looking for today. Good. Inhale as you reach your arms all the way up. Navel in to support your spine, shoulders back and down. Reach long out of your fingertips. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, just your left hand comes down to the floor. Your right hand is going to stay up to the sky for a twist. Roll both of your shoulders back. Try to turn your chest around. Keep your hips squeezing to the midline and even look up if that works in your neck. Good. And then bringing your hand down to the ground. Let's place that back knee down. Keep your back toes tucked though. And now straighten out your front leg. Start to move your hips back. Flex your foot, lifting the sole of the foot off the ground. You're going to sit back, if you can, onto your heel as much as you can. So we're getting a hamstring stretch here. Shoulders are back. And we're even getting a little toe pose here. You can do all of this with blocks under your hands to give you a bit more space if you need it. Good. One more big exhale. And then come back forward, bending that front knee. Hands placed to the ground. Let's step to plank pose. The back knee comes up, the front foot goes back to meet it. Good. Navel in nice and strong, shoulders over the wrists, heels over the toes. And you can always do this with your knees on the ground. Take a deep breath in and lower slow. Exhale, bend your knees towards the back of the room. Come onto your belly, point your toes back. Keep the tops of the feet on the floor, roll the shoulders back. Inhale and lift up, cobra pose. As you exhale, push up, lift your knees, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, press the floor away. Let your heart reach towards the back of the room. You can pedal out your heels. We're not going to be doing very many downward dogs, so let's really enjoy this one. Downward dog can be a pose that will warm up the whole body, so let's enjoy that. Give you a nice, good stretch. The bum is up really high. The shoulders are back. Chest reaching towards the legs. Great. Let's take our left foot and step it up between the hands. You can get there however you need to. Don't worry about it. Now, if you put your back knee on the floor in the first pose, do that again. If you kept it up, do it again. Try to keep it even on each side of the body. Good. Inhale and reach the arms up to the sky. Ooh, find your balance. Pull your navel in. Support your spine. Keep those shoulders. You can even kind of go up with the shoulders, back, and then relax them down. Take a deep breath in. And now just your right hand comes down. We're coming into that twist again. Good. Rolling the shoulders back as you bring your whole chest around over to the left, reaching long out of your fingertips. Good. And then coming down. You're going to keep your back toes tucked, but bring your knee to the ground. Start to stretch back by sitting your hips onto your back heel, flexing the front foot. Good. And from here, shoulders back, and maybe you fold over the leg just a little bit as you find your hamstring stretch. You may have found it very quickly. That's totally cool. Good. We always breathe. Even though our practice is a quick one today and it's going to get into every part of the body, that doesn't mean that we rush through it. We want to find our presence and our grounding. Come forward into your lunge pose. Pick up the back knee. This time you're going to step to the top of the mat. So we're coming back into a forward fold. Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. That's halfway up. And then exhale and fold again. Inhale, reach for the sky. Come all the way up. Get nice and tall. And exhale, hands into the heart. Good. Inhale, reach up tall. This time we're going to sit in a chair pose. So what does that mean? I want you to bend your knees. Bend your knees, bend your knees. Stick your bum back, right? So you're not bending your knees forward. You're pushing your bum back, right? Your knees basically end up navigating over your ankles, maybe the middle of your foot, but not past your toes, right? Your bum is sticking out behind you. There's space between your knees, but I want you to feel like you're both squeezing in and pushing out at the same time. So your legs are pretty on fire right now. The arms can be up or they can be forward, whatever's going to work in your shoulders. See what feels right in your neck and shoulders. Tuck your tailbone a bit and pull your navel in. Take a breath in. And exhale, fold. Lifting the bum up as you straighten your legs a bit. Good. Plant your hands to the floor. We're going to take both of our feet back to that plank pose again. Take a deep breath in the plank pose, navel in, and then exhale, lower, either to the floor or Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale into cobra or upward facing dog. Upward dog means we're on the tops of the feet. The shoulders are rolling back. The chest is reaching forward. To come to our downward facing dog, we're going to use the navel. Pull it in, core strength, lifting your hips to the sky. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Big breath, big sigh. Good. Let's take our right leg up, 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 up to the sky. Anyway, that feels good. We're here to stretch, right? And now swing it forward. We're going to get the foot all the way up between the hands. Right there. Good. This time we're going to put the back heel on the ground. Keep the toes pointed forward. We're going to come into a warrior one all the way up. In Virabhadrasana 1, we're aiming towards having the hips more or less square to the front of the mat here. So your right hip will kind of track back. Your left hip will kind of track forward. The navel is always in to support the spine. And the outer edge of the back hip, back foot presses down to the ground. Arms up. Good. Virabhadrasana 1. We turn it into Virabhadrasana 2. What does that mean? I'm going to start to open the chest towards the left. Turn the back toes so that your back foot is now parallel with the outer edge of your mat. And we've got that front heel more or less in line with the arch of the back foot. Bend into the front knee. Again, right over the ankle, not past the toes. Relax the arms a little bit. Keeping your lower body exactly as it is, go ahead and reach back. So that means your left hand will start to come down, your left leg, right arm up and overhead. Take a breath in. As you exhale, come forward. Place that right elbow on your right thigh, left arm overhead. We'll do 2 more like that with our breath. Inhaling back. Exhaling forward. 1 more time back. 1 more time forward. Good. From here, let's turn it into a triangle pose. You can straighten the front leg. Rest your hand wherever it's going to rest. It can go on your shin. You could have a block. You might be on the floor. Whatever's going to work for you. If you're resting here, that's totally fine. Roll the chest open towards the ceiling. If you would like to work a little bit more of your oblique strength, float your hand. Try not to lean into it. No matter what you're doing with your arms, though, do squeeze the 2 legs towards one another. This is going to help us prevent a hyperextension in the front knee, really engaging the legs. Look up. If it works in your neck, take a breath. And as you exhale, bend the front knee as you start to come down. Both of your hands on the floor. We're going to turn the feet parallel. Feet are parallel. You're now facing the long end of your mat. From here, we'll bend into the knees just a little bit. As we bring the sit bones up a little bit higher, roll the shoulders back. And then you can intend your legs to a little bit more straight. We're just trying to do that to give ourselves the space to get more stretch. Right hand right underneath your face. Inhale, left arm up and twist. You're trying not to bring your hips around with you at the same time, just the chest that twists. And it doesn't matter if your hand reaches straight up or if it's out towards the corner of the room. It's more about how this feels for you than about how it looks. Take a breath in. And exhale and release. We're going to change hands. Replace your right hand with your left, and then take your right arm up. Good. Rotating in the upper back. Use the shoulders. The more that they come back, the more that those shoulder blades can kind of gently press your heart open. And then slowly release down. Good. We'll turn back into a lunge over the right leg. We're going to do a little flow. Step to plank. Breath in. Exhale, lower, either chaturanga or all the way to the ground. Either cobra or upward dog. See what's feeling right for your back. You may be a little bit more warmed up now. Core strength to get us there. Belly in. Facing dog. Big breath in. And soften on the breath out. Left leg all the way up. Left leg steps all the way through. Back heel down, toes are pointing a little forward to start here. Virabhadrasana 1, warrior 1 first. So bring the arms up. We're tracking left hip back, right hip forward. Pressing the outer edge of the right foot on the ground. Belly in to support the spine. Relax shoulders. Good. Turning it into warrior 2. The back toes turn out a bit. The chest turns towards the right side of your mat. Front knee still tracks over the ankle. Hands are at the height of your shoulders, but the shoulders are fairly relaxed. Try to imagine that your arms are sort of floating on the top of water. You know, like when you're in a pool and the water is at like armpit level and you can just let your arms float. So just taking the unnecessary tension out of the arms and shoulders. Lower body stays steady here. We're going to flow. Inhale, reach back. Exhale, come forward. Inhale back. Exhale forward. 1 more. Exhale. Good. We're turning it into a triangle, right? So your right hand will go up, straight to the sky. The front leg will start to straighten. But we're squeezing the legs together. Those inner thighs are on fire. This will support your joints and keep you active and engaged. You can lean into your hand if you like, provided you've got some squeeze in those legs, or you can float the hand a little bit to get some oblique strength going on. Good. Remember to breathe. Very important. Very important to breathe. Good. Your chest is rotating towards the sky. Beautiful. You can start to bend that front knee as you bring your hands down. Again, we're going to go parallel with the feet, facing the long edge of our mat. Little bend into the knees. This time, hands on your hips. We're just going to stand right up. Give ourselves a little chest stretch. Interlace your fingers behind the back. Now, I like to say here that we want to squeeze the palms towards one another. They might not touch the whole time, okay? That part doesn't matter so much. It's all about the intention and making sure the engagement is there. So squeeze the hands towards one another so that you're not just stressing all the joints and splaying everything apart. Squeeze. Also squeeze your elbows back towards one another. You'll feel that starts to open the chest and the front of the shoulders. From there, go ahead and start to lift your arms up. Good. Keep those elbows squeezing back, those palms intending towards one another. Lift up through the chest, take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, bow forward, hinging at your hips. You can relax your head, give it a little yes or no shake, and then even let your arms float a little higher up overhead. Deep breaths into the chest, the shoulders, the hamstrings. You're pressing down evenly through the inner and outer edges of your feet, and they still got that little squeeze towards the midline. Good. To release this, first just put those clasped hands on your sacrum, release the clasp, and slide your hands down your legs. Good. We'll turn towards the front edge of the mat again, a little lunge over the left foot. One last time, we're going to flow. Step back plank. Belly in, take a breath, tip forward, exhale and lower, either hover or release. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Let's tip into a plank pose. And we're going to bring our knees down and come all the way down onto the belly. Coming onto the forearms here, think Sphinx pose, right? So what does that look like? We've got parallel forearms. The elbows are right underneath the shoulders. The palms are flat on the ground. Rolling the shoulders back, reaching the heart forward. And we want to stay nice and engaged in that right shoulder here. I'm going to turn the right hand in just a little bit so we have a bit more stability. We're coming into Ardha Bakasana. So what this means is we're going to bend the left knee and your left hand, so left to left, takes the foot. Now to get here, you might have kind of rolled over onto your right hip. Bring your left hip back down. What happened in the right shoulder? Push, lift. Good. Now we can go for a thigh stretch, maybe pulling the heel in a little closer. You just see what you got here. Some of us might even find that it's easier to use a strap to go get the foot and to hold it like that. Depends on where your your quadriceps are at today. Good. Now, if you have the mobility in your shoulders and this feels interesting to you, and when I say interesting, I mean not painful, you can turn your fingers in the same direction as your toes. This will flip your elbow up and even get a little bit of stretch through the front of the chest and shoulder. Chest is facing forward, heel is pulling in. And now pull your navel in towards your spine. Try to pick it up off the floor. One more big exhale. Good. Release. Come to the other side. Plant that left elbow down. Turn the hand in a bit. From here, take your right hand to right foot. All right, so we're not going across the body. It's all on the same side. Right hand to right foot. Starting to pull the heel in, maybe turning the fingers and flipping the elbow up. Maybe using a strap to go get it. If this pose is absolutely impossible, and I know for some of us it really is, my husband has really tight quads, and he's always saying that thigh stretches like these can literally make him feel like his quads are going to explode. You might be better off just coming to a standing position and picking up your heel behind you to get a stretch like that. You can even support yourself at the wall. Remember to keep the chest lifted, the shoulders engaged. Take a breath. Pull the navel in, exhale. And then slowly release. Good. We'll press up onto our knees and come into a child's pose. So open the knees wide. Touch the big toes. Sink the hips towards the heels. Arms forward. Rest your forehead to the ground. Couple of nice big breaths here. Feel let your body come into a little bit of a softer space now. Just lift your head up for a second. We'll do a little side stretch, a little lateral stretch. So bring your hands over towards the left side of your mat. Try to keep your right hip anchoring down and then stretch out the right side. The more you walk your right fingers over, the more you'll feel that stretch. And you can even start to relax your head. It might come back to the floor, it might just hang there. And try to breathe into the right side of your rib cage. Just send your breath there. And we'll change sides. Walk it on over to the right. Walk those left fingertips even farther over. Head down. Left hip anchored down towards the heel. And breathing into the left side of your rib cage. Even feel how the ribs can spread apart a bit with each inhale. It's like getting a massage from the inside out. Good, and coming back to center, you can even sit up now. Let's come to lie down on our back. And we'll do a hip stretch here, making a figure four like shape with our legs. So the right ankle over the left knee. And I'd like you to think about having your right foot as though it were in a ski boot, where you just can't even move through the ankle. So the toes are going to flex and pull up towards the knee. You're keeping that and then placing the ankle, right? So you don't end up twisting the ankle, you can't like see the sole of your foot. The sole of your foot should really be facing the left side. The idea here is that we want an external rotation through the right hip so the right knee can move away. And we can perhaps use the left leg to bring the ankle in closer to us, and that will deepen the external rotation. As you exhale, gently bring the legs in a tiny bit closer. And again, doesn't necessarily mean we can see that, but we can feel it, these little micro movements with the breath. One more long exhale. Good. And you're going to keep the shape of your legs. So don't remove that ankle from the knee, but do put your left foot back on the ground. And then you're just going to roll onto your left hip here, all the way down. And now the sole of the foot can come to the floor. And I still want you to think about that right knee moving away from your chest. So it's moving up towards the ceiling, maybe even down the length of the mat. Right? So it's not rolling in, it's up. We've got a twist and even an extra sort of outer hip stretch. And maybe I get it a little bit in the oblique here. So you'll see what you feel with that. Let's just rock the head from side to side as we release any tension that's built up in the neck. Inhale and come back up. Now we'll change sides. Remember the ski boot with your left ankle now, and place it right there. Good. You might stay right here. Some people just stay right here and pushing the knee away, and they're getting beautiful sensations all through the hip. If that's your situation, no shame there. You stay with that. Just because more is available doesn't mean it's right for all of our bodies. If it is right for your body, though, the options here are to pick up the right leg, either holding behind the thigh or wrapping around the shin. But everyone's got the ski boot. Everyone's got the knee pointing away. We're all doing this right. Doing this in a way that is most supportive for our bodies. Respecting the boundaries. When we're rushing around, it's easy to sort of cut corners. And yet, I don't know about you, but every time I cut corners, that's exactly when I make mistakes. That's the moment that I spill something and drop something and forget something. One more big exhale as you maybe draw those legs in a little closer. Good. Keeping the shape of your legs. If your foot is up, you bring it back down. That's the right foot I'm referring to. You're going to roll onto your right hip. Good. And you're still pressing the left knee away from you, right? So not into the chest, but away from the chest. The upper back is flat on the ground, and you can roll your head from side to side. When you're really, really busy, this is the moment in the practice where you're wondering if you can just turn it off and move on already, right? There's not much left, so why don't you stay here with me? Get the most out of this time that you've taken for yourself, and then really end up coming back to your day with presence. Good, you can come back up with the legs. Do a little happy baby here. Happy baby is where the feet are up. It's almost like you're doing a squat in the ceiling. The soles of the feet face the ceiling. We hold the feet. For some of us, the feet are really far away. You can hold a little lower down, ankles or shins, or a nice option is also just to rest the hands on the inner knees and just kind of hang out here, getting a little inner thigh stretch. You just do what feels right for you today, and this is the moment you get to move around in any way your body really wants you to. You can kick out heels, you can rock around, you can touch feet together. It's all good. And then for our final rest, a Supta Baddha Konasana. So soles of the feet together, knees are apart, arms out to the sides. If this creates a lot of pressure on this inner thigh area where there's a lot of tension, then just skip this one altogether and come to a traditional Shavasana with the legs extended out. Typically, I would want us to have some support under the thighs, but we're not going to be here very long. So by all means, if you feel fine hanging out here with the soles of the feet together, please do. We have only 1 minute of final rest. I suggest that you take it. Feel the effects of your practice. And thank yourself. Thank yourself for taking this time out of your busy day to reconnect with your body, to stretch and move, to find groundedness and presence. We don't need to take a lot of time to recenter ourselves and set ourselves up for a very focused, present, and aware state of being, no matter how busy we are. You can gently guide your legs back together, the knees together, extending your legs out, reaching your arms up and overhead, a big full body stretch. Take a deep breath in and release. Good. Roll over to one side and gently press yourself up to sitting. Thank you so much for sharing this practice with me today. I hope that it helps you feel a little bit more grounded, even though there is so much going on today. Come back to this practice anytime you need just a little slice of some movement and connection to yourself. Namaste.